Hey everyone, how's it going? Today's focus is on one of my many build options for Season 22 for Hunters. I want to focus on a strand build that synergizes insanely with Flowtracer. I'll go over weapon combos, fragment synergies, and aspect choices. This build is focused on universal play. You can do anything with it. Grandmasters, Lost Sectors, whatever you want to do, providing you with a solid fallback at any time. I want to open up a world of build opportunities, right? So Strand Hunters, they've always been solid since the original Strand build was released. So this might not be anything new for most players, but Season 22, we got Whirling Maelstrom. That changes everything. It's insane. Now you want to find and destroy every Tangle in the battlefield. Usually I would suggest ignoring Tangles that are not summoned by you, but with the seasonal artifact, communal pickups, which should be baseline for all Strand, I don't know why they haven't done that already, but beside the point, you should pick them up, every single one of them. Communal pickups reduces the cooldown of a Tangle or Elemental Orb by 5 seconds when another Guardian picks it up or activates it. So that you just grab any Tangle you want. There's also a matching weapon type to your subclass, providing a damage bonus. That's just free damage, so it's not much to add besides it's just nice to have more damage output. Your goal with this build is to break any and all Tangles at all times, ever. I mean, every single one of them. Get them all, every single one of them. I would almost suggest that if you have other Strand user just generating Tangles and you're destroying them as the Hunter, like I would say go to Warlock, get a Strand Titan, get a whole bunch of Tangles and let your Hunter destroy them all, and just let the whirlwind begin. Let the hurricane show up. Your Tangles will basically change into Beyblades, and they'll wreak absolute havoc. So 2 of them can even take down a stunned champion solo. You can stun an Overload champion and absolutely just wreck it with whirling Beyblades. It's insane. It might be nerfed in terms of damage output, but either way, it should be absolutely broken just for spinning random free damage, because Strand was always lacking the damage, but now you have free Beyblades going everywhere. So how do you build to make this happen? I'm glad you asked. Let's start with the class ability. Pick any options you want, as you won't be using it. The same goes for your movement, choose whatever suits your style. I say this because you'll want to run Ensnaring Slam. This consumes your class ability, and using your dodge in midair causes you to dive to the ground, suspend all targets. So don't waste your class ability at all on anything else, just use your dive. Always suspend with your dive. With the ability to suspend without needing a shackle grenade, choose the best grenade option that works for the content you're in. So for high level content, if you can't get up close and personal and it's not safe, then use a shackle. Definitely if you have an unstoppable champion, use a shackle. If there's no unstoppables and you can get into melee range without dying, then 1000% go for grapple, as the damage output is absolutely insane. This will give you a Tangle if you kill the target as it unravels the target, allowing for another whirlwind to begin. Also, inactivate your Flowtracer. So you forgot about Fragment, right? I mean, before Season 22, I didn't know what it did either, so you're not alone. With the changes to this season, you gain a 4 times damage buff for this weapon. Yes, 4 times, not 3 times, 4 times. Unless this is nerfed, well, hopefully not. You activate this by damaging a powerful combatant with an ability, damaging it with a damage type matching your weapon's subclass. So it has to match a Strand weapon. So you're going to want to grapple in, punch, shoot them down, then gain a buff, and cycle, back and forth. You can rotate the grapple with shackle grenades, melees, supers, or anything else, and you'll be dealing impressive damage. So for this combo to work, you'll need a Strand weapon. So what options do we have? Well, I mean, I'd be absolutely crazy if I didn't say Quicksilver Storm. An exotic weapon that literally creates Tangles. This weapon is going to, it's going to be meta for sure for Hunters. It deals massive damage, works as an anti-barrier also for Season 22. 2 backups for the auto rifle slot would be Old Sterling and Perpetualis. Both are 2 very suitable options if you wanted to go the legendary route. You can also use Until Its Return, as its ability to grapple in and then shoot a rapid fire shotgun into a champion's face is kind of satisfying. So both options are great for the kinetic slot, but you should always run a Strand heavy machine gun such as Circular Logic to mow down targets when you're unable to get into that close range. But that's enough about weapons. Let's look at the fragments. So we have Thread of Propagation, which gives powered melee final blows to grant unraveling rounds, helping you spawn more Tangles. This also provides a damage bonus similar to volatile rounds. You'll need Thread of Warding since you have no other way to get woven mail in your kit besides Orbs of Power, so take the free damage resist. Next we have Thread of Generation. It generates grenade energy while you do damage. That's it. Simple, to the point. Awesome, I like it. You'll want to have your shackle grenade as much as possible, so that's a nice benefit, just have that grenade energy on hand. Lastly, I recommend Thread of Transmutation. With a woven mail weapon, final blows create Tangles. So we've covered weapons, aspects, abilities, fragments. I would say we need to cover which super to use, but there's only one and it's busted. So you're basically a ninja tank spinning around, killing everything in your path. Now we need to cover mods and stats, along with your seasonal artifact combination. For your stats, you should go for 100 resilience, as you'll want to live long enough during combat to even do any damage. Then you want to go 100 discipline, as you want to make sure you have either your grapple or your shackle available at all times. You need the unraveling debuff to be part of your combination, so you can get the most amount of Tangle's uptime. You can follow up with whatever remaining stats you can get, throw them all into intellect, as you want to have your super as available as much as possible. Finally, we have mods. For your Flowtracer helm slot, I'd recommend 2 dynamos and a strand siphon. For Season 22, the combination siphon mod, pairing with either your solar, arc, or void with your strand, can work really well, so you can add that in also if you'd like, or just do the normal strand siphon. As a quick note, for your dynamo, it will proc off an ensnaring slam. For your arm slot, I'd recommend 2 grenade kickstarts, as you won't be using your surge mods while using a Flowtracer exotic helm. It takes care of all your weapon surges, remember you get that 4 times bonus of damage. I would either pair heavy-handed or firepower depending on my grenade choice, as your grapple counts as a melee hit when you complete the grapple hit combo, and your shackle grenade would be a grenade damage. For your chest slot, this is completely up to you, as I would match your resist mod to the combatants you're facing. For your boot slot, I'd recommend 1 recuperation to stay healthy during combat, 1 enervation to keep your grenade ready at all times, and 1 elemental charge as you want to have as many armor charges uptime as possible for grenade kickstarts. Lastly, for your cloak slot, I'd recommend Reaper for a free orb each class ability use. I'd use 1 bomber for grenade uptime when using your class ability, and 1 powerful attraction to assist with orb gathering, as you'll be flying around the battlefield, and your orbs will not be your primary focus the majority of the time. Finally, let's go over your artifact build. Pick any of the artifact weapons you need for the perks that match for the anti-unstoppable, overload, or barrier champions. I'm just going to fill in a few here just to make sure we have them filled out. The next section, I'd make sure you match your weapons that you're using in your energy slot to the combination siphon. So I would not recommend using Origin Trakes or the scavenger mods unless you really like scavenger mods, then put that on. So for your siphons, I'd recommend either Arc or Solar if you're in there, or Void. Make sure you have 1 or 2 of those in there to get to the next section. You want to use Thanatonic Tangles, as this is going to be a massive change for generating those tangles for you. After this, you can use any of these options. I would probably just use Origin perk. If you're using a machine gun, then you can definitely use the Overload machine gun perk here. If you're not, you can always switch it out for something else. This is definitely one that would be nice to take care of Overload champions, but it's up to your preference. Elemental Fury is a nice option. Communal pickups we talked about earlier if you're in a group. If you're solo, you would not be using this solo. Refreshing pickups, make sure you definitely grab that for a nice ability free energy, and then you pick up Elemental Fury, or I'd switch it in for Overload. So when you're doing solo, you can switch between communal pickups and overloads. Your next 2 options are either between, or I would add in Monochromatic Maestro. Elemental Munitions is also very well for keeping that heavy damage. Elemental Embrace does not work for a Strand subclass, so you would not be using this at all. So, Strand Hunter, use it in all content, right now. Go do it, go play Strand Hunter. If you enjoy these build videos, make sure to check out my other content on my channel. My goal is to keep videos direct and to the point and informative. Liking and subscribing really helps my channel grow, so make sure to click that button when you get a chance, and remember, Guardians, the universe is vast, your power is limitless, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next adventure.